the board. He can't. He's normally just such a great player, a great officer, but he just can't handle being in that specific situation. He was once assimilated, broke free, but too much trauma there to be level-headed in that particular match.
It's been a long road getting from there to here.
Well, and a Victor and Nidalee ban against Eve. Interesting. So they actually are going to ban out two mid laners that Faker has been known to play, particularly that Victor that one would have thought they would have been happy to play. The Vayne ban, surprisingly,
I think
be
this
there.
might become more and more common, Monte Cristo. It feels like Vayne is really shooting up the rankings, and this is a stat we actually drew, was that I had a feeling that we would see some at least this series. First picked as expected. You were saying 65% win rate for Bengi on this champion. Elise so strong on patch 5.14. It feels like she's now the queen of the early game after Eve saw a couple of tweaks downwards. Now we are seeing a bit more AP Evelyn with the likes of the Rylai's and the Challenger series over in NA to get picks, and I think that's still strong, but at least right now, super powered, I'd have to say.
Yeah, I am excited about this Elise pick on Bengi. Just to talk about Elise, he has 11-6 all-time on the champion, but most notably, my favorite Bengi Elise moment was actually in the Season 3 group stages of the World Championship against OMG, when, to this day, I don't think there has been a more impressive display of team coordination than them grouping up, taking down all three turrets in the mid lane and an inhibitor very early on in that game. And how was that empowered? That was empowered through Spiderling tanking on the turret by Bengi. It was very well played by him. So definitely a champion to look out for from Bengi. I'm glad to see it back in the meta.
And speaking of Season 3, Elise versus Lee Sin is the jungle matchups. Definitely a blast from the past.
Yay!
Korea has had some excellent Elise players, probably notably Kakao was perhaps the best of the Elise players. Sad to see him no longer in Champions, but Bengi's right up there, as you mentioned. Don't really think of him or associate him as strongly with the champion, but the win rate can't be denied.
Yeah. He definitely isn't his most played champion. It's actually his 6th most played champion, but he's really shown that he has a mastery of it when push came to shove. And of course the Lee Sin, something we've seen Lyra playing recently, and now we have Thresh and Rumble for Samsung, so taking that pick away from Marin. Really interesting that all of a sudden SK Telecom deprioritizing the Rumble pick, which they took in the first round of the draft on Red Side last time. And now, we talked about this last time, but the Kog'Maw coming into play. I think this is a very important champion for SK Telecom to become better at.
It's also a flex pick, Monte Cristo. We've already seen both AD carry and mid lane Kog'Maw come through from SKT, one of the only teams to actually try the mid lane Kog'Maw. It's probably going to be in the AD carry role, as fans are gasping because there's a whole load of assassins they're mousing over to consider for Faker in the mid lane.
Would be exciting stuff. No, it will not be the LeBlanc. Bang is just trolling us right now. The Gnar, quite effective in a kiting composition. The Rise up this game, I'm not sure they're going to select that, though. I'd love to see Marin play the Riven into the Rumble. That would be quite exciting. We're basically just going through Faker's entire champion pool from this season right now on our screen, with Bang highlighting a wide variety of these picks.
Even our observer wants him to mouse over to Fiora. It's all the melee assassins. Faker said in an interview that he loves to play those melee assassins, but this required a blind pick and the return of Faker's Ahri that, honestly, probably on the lower end of the spectrum when it comes to his picks this season. He's struggled a little bit on that champion.
Yeah, he just hasn't looked as good as a player like Mickey, and Crown with a grin on his face on your screen as you see him lock in that Yasuo.
It's a great comp for Yasuo. They already have Rumble and Corki for AP damage. Suddenly, Faker back into the lineup, and we get this pseudo counter pick with the Yasuo.
Very interesting. We'll see what he can do versus Faker. Of course, Faker can just Spirit Rush through the wind wall, so it's not as much of a counter as Yasuo is on certain other champions. Alistar and Eve's Lee Sin can provide sufficient knockups.
Lee Sin Yasuo has some of the most exciting mid lane ganks with the kick, especially. There can be a lot of outplays in the mid lane, but what about this Elise? It's the first sighting of Elise for me on patch 5.14 today, especially. This champion was banned in the first game, so powerful in the other game. The pick potential, specifically around mid, 1.6 seconds stun into the charm. That's death with a low base health Yasuo.
certainly might be. So Ari, Faker's second most played champion of all time, 11-6, so same record as Bengi's Elise. He was having some trouble with his charm accuracy in some of the games earlier this season.
No worries. 1.6 second is the new stun on Elise at level 1, so easy peasy. Don't need to hit any of those damn skill shots, Monte Cristo.
Okay, well, we'll see if that's true. We are going into SK Telecom versus Samsung Game 2. Welcome to Game 2 right now between SK Telecom and Samsung. SK Telecom picking up a pretty quick win in game number 1. Now we will see the return of Elise, which has obviously already started this week since we are on patch 5.14. And intriguingly, Faker's Ari making a return too. And that's a champion, talked about, didn't look so clean like we're used to seeing from Faker. But perhaps he's been refining those mechanics, honing them once again.
So bang. With the fa-la-la in the brush as the reindeer talk more. Now, you've been a bit depressed recently, Monte Cristo. You're very sad that all the streaks have been ending. Kuro's victor streak, streaks in general, SKT's winning streak, dying like the Undertaker's at 21-1. Exciting news, Wolf is 10-0 this season on Janna.
But he has lost a game on Janna professionally.
Not this season, so look, we have to redefine these stats. The hype trains, they're a bit shorter. They're becoming, 2-3 stop hype trains, but 10-0, that's still a streak.
I like the all-time records. I don't want to stretch for this.
Well, you're going to have to sell him, Monte Cristo, because the all-time has been falling in multiple ways.
He's 17-1 all-time on Janna.
Well, it doesn't have the same ring to it as 10-0, and it's a good laning matchup as well. If we do see the 2v2, can be very on point, disengaging the headbutt pulverize with Janna. And yeah, lane swap is actually initiated by SKT.
Just going to freeze the wave right here. Kuve not going to be double jungling. In fact, will just be lurking in the brushes. Hello, Marin. You get a Gromp.
Very dapper. It's level 2. The gentleman now. Jungle follow is going to be fast just because Elise, her jungle clear was always safe, sustained, and quick.
Yeah, just like the rich people to take all of the resources, isn't that right? He's role-playing his champion very well.
I don't know how a spider lady fits into this particular analogy, but I follow where you're coming from.
Spiders aren't rich, Papa Smithy. I don't see any.
The good, honest spiders and spiderlings doing all the work.
That's right. She's just a beast of burden for Gentleman Nar. Scumbag Yordle.
Scumbag Yordle. Hard-working spider. Faker hits his first charm of the game, doing his best to quieten your questioning of his skill shots.
It just didn't look so good.
I mean, this pick instilled terror for a very long time, but this season especially. His Azir and his Ari, certainly the A is just not working.
He's got to go back to his League of Legends ABCs, I guess.
Yeah, no Anivia, no Ari, no Azir. Sorry, Faker, just
he actually played a really good Anivia last season.
That's true. That was a while ago now.
It was.
Anivia
also just a random one-off. Never went back to it.
Very Godby-esque. Loves the random one-offs. AP Cho'Gath already died a death this season as well. Have we seen one AP Cho?
Not this season, no.
Sad day. Nivea and Cho'Gath, those release champions, just can't compete.
So just forcing Kuve off the turret right there, punishing him a little bit for his lack of a jungle follow. Ooh. Meanwhile, Eve going for a level 3 dragon attempt. Does have to have some tanking here from Luna.
And the trend of dragons has certainly been later. It's been about, what, 15 to 17 minutes
really
very commonly for the first dragon. Samsung, they've got the Rumble, they've got the Corki, they've picked for dragon control. And man, they're going to get that 5th dragon timer starting early. 4 minutes is your first dragon. 28 minutes potentially for the 5th dragon.
Yeah, and this was a bit of a change. First off, when they saw the Rumble in the top side, as Fake gets knocked up right here, Charm's going to hit a minion. There's a miss. Skill shots galore missing, but they do get a nice chunk. Eve going to fall low on the Gromp. in his own jungle. But to talk about this lane swap for a second, they saw Kuve not going for the double jungle, so they responded by trying to force him off of his tower. It has given Marin a slight level advantage and a pretty nice CS lead, actually, but it came at the cost of this dragon. So we'll have to evaluate whether that was worth it later in the game. For the moment, the answer is definitely yes, it was. He's 2 levels up, but
it's just a reality of, it's a League of Legends 101 thing that if you're on the blue side, you initiate the lane swap, suddenly you're going to have 4 members on the top side of the jungle, enemy red side jungle, your blue side jungle. That's where you control. But the cost and the reason why blue side is always so reticent to swap is the dragon control. Now, it hasn't been punished for the last few weeks, but finally we see a team pull off that 4-minute dragon.
well, usually you wouldn't do the dragon because you wouldn't know where their jungler is. But when you show like they did, they had to show to push Kuve off the tower and off the minion wave. So this was a deliberate choice that SK Telecom made.
Still surprising to see a team in 7th spot, Samsung, so decisively punish it so early as Eve tries to put some pressure on. Wow,
nice
skill shot.
Q, but Bang just holding steady, not going to use his heal or his flash. Very poised and patient play.
Just knows exactly how much damage the old attacks would do. Was happy to bait in some sort of turret dive, swap his flash and heal, but in the end keeps the summoners up, has to back away, buys Kuve some time to get some minions and experience. So very good job by Eve. He needs to high take.
He does. Zephyr will hit, the Tornado will not. Luna now in the mid lane. I want to take out this pink ward, but
skills does Luna have? Okay, level 3, so have all 3. It was only level 2 when you often skill up heal, so I was actually worried about their skirmishing despite the Alistair showing up, but should be fine now.
Crown doing a good job of getting a CS lead onto Faker too. As we often see, Yasuo, that lane bully, can be very difficult to deal with as he postures in your minion wave.
And he's deceptively safe even against this super buff Delise just because, can win wall the cocoon. Bengi doing a lot of damage onto Lee Sin. Has the hyper mobility. Already see they've tried to gank him a couple of times. Samsung taking a decisive dragon, playing decisive in the mid lane. That's already more than we might have expected after getting crushed in game 1.
Oh, there we go. There's the dive, and there's the knockup. Goodbye, first blood onto Crown. Faker didn't even have a chance to flash or spirit rush right there. And a bit of cocky play playing forward. He knew that Luna and Eve were there ready and waiting, but Luna with a nice flash headbutt pull just comes out of the fog of war and nails Faker underneath his turret.
It's the exclamation point on what has been some smart early play from Samsung. They've understood what they had to work with, what SKT were trying to force them into, and played smartly around it. Suddenly Yasuo can go back, almost has that static shiv, has all of it barring the recipe. And Samsung, maybe they're going to play spoiler again. Can they actually pick up a win? Okay, it's still very early. They don't have any big advantages, but at least they're not putting themselves in a hole or being dictated to by SKT.
Yeah, the Gnar is really what you have to worry about, though, because for SK Telecom, getting the Gnar a big lead is going to mean so much, because Samsung is mostly based around burst damage this game, and actually, their damage is going to be pretty low in the late game. When we think about Rumble, Yasuo, and Corki, it's going to be really hard for them to kill a 5 or 6 item Gnar with anything at all. And given the mobility of Faker, locking Faker down late may also prove problematic. They also do not have an exhaust to temper the damage coming in from the Ahri. It's oftentimes what you see because you know she's going to be in exhaust range on some of these plays.
We saw Samsung try to play the split push game with Zed last game. Now, Zed versus Rumble, which would have been the eventual 1v1 that we didn't really get to see. A bit of a mismatch as Crown going in and out, but not being able to draw anything out of Bengi. Yasuo versus Gnar is actually another matchup that Yasuo does very well and can win wall a lot of the damage. That, of course, pops the boomerang toss from the Gnar, who's not able to pick up the refresh cooldown mechanic. You're going to get the 50% armor penetration from the ult. There might be a scenario where Crown can really create headaches, even if we see massive armor stacking from Mara.
It's possible, but you have to consider the exhaust on Janna too. Exhaust is such a powerful spell.
For team fights, I agree, but there is a scenario where Yasuo runs all over a full tank.
Well, we'll see if that happens or whether SK Telecom can group up and dodge that situation a little bit. again, this bot lane has just been action-packed today. Tons of trading.
It's Kog'Maw versus Corki. This is the matchup that really led to the re-rise of Kog'Maw as an AD carry, just because he does so well in the laning phase, outranges the strong burst damage trades that a Corki's able to put out. So now with the Sheen, hasn't even had to opt into the phage. Lane only gets worse for Corki, which is kind of troubling. Laning phase and jungle early minion control, specifically around the monster-like dragon. It's what you pick the Corki for, and look, if they can secure the second dragon, maybe they'll go a long way to justifying the choice of the Corki, but they need to really keep on the clock and get that 10-minute dragon.
Yeah, well, that seems really unlikely right now that they are going to get it right at spawn, considering the current state of affairs. Warding definitely in favor of SKT. Now, interestingly, I'm intrigued by this build from Marin because he almost never goes for a tank item first on Gnar. We see him loving the Black Cleaver first. We see him loving the Hex Drinker first. It's a bit of a change to have him not looking for any kind of lane or split push pressure.
And that's kind of the surprising thing. It's one of the reasons why we speculated another Q comes dangerously close from Crown that SKT was struggling, is that he was a bit inflexible, like you mentioned. It was always the really damaging item. He's going for the big play.
Nope, kicks him the wrong direction. Faker there with the Spirit Rush to get out of that. And meanwhile, Bengi picks up a kill on the bottom side. Fury will be pushed off. So will this result in a dragon? Faker out of mana right now is going to recall. So no dragon for SKT. Perhaps a little bit too low, especially since the last breath from Yasuo is up and able to be used. So Faker goes for the Merlonomicon first.
Just coming back to Marin's build pass, the thing about always building for lane is you always try to extend those 1v1s, that skirmish play that we've already said is SKT's MO. If you actually build tank items like the straight out Spectre's Cowl, you're much more putting faith in team fighting, and Gnar, look, can be a team fight beast. Flame has shown that for LGD, but can also have that downside if you pigeon yourself into laning. So it's something different. It's an adaptation that might be relevant to talk about when we talk about the massive playoff games for SKT. With some releashing though, they're doing this dragon pretty slow, but there's only really Luna to play spoiler.
Yeah, he's not going to get much here besides a little bit of auto attack damage. Bang already heading back to the lane.
He has to be careful, he's only level 5, Luna.
Crown coming down right now. Bengi may need to flash over this wall. Faker looking for a play. Fury needs to be really careful. Bengi has to flash in the end. No good target to repel to, of course. Next to that dragon wall.
Already you can see a delay on the 5th dragon timer if Samsung was really looking to that as a cornerstone of this game plan. Now it's all tied up. 1-to-1 that objective, and look, we end up with more of this Gnar versus Rumble off-lane matchup. Rumble building for team fights, Gnar building for lane. It's not going to be the same pressures if he was going for a Black Cleaver or, for example, a Frozen Mallet, but Marin's still in the ascendancy against QV.
Yeah, I think this is just smart too, because again, the more you don't need Gnar to do damage against this team composition. You just need him to survive the burst from the Yasuo, Rumble, and Corki. And if he can do that, he's doing his job, but doing that also requires him to get both MR and armor. It's not an easy itemization, so.
Early on though, you're against Static Shiv from the Yasuo and basically purely AP otherwise, so you're getting a lot of value out of the Spectre's Cowl. I wouldn't even hate Spectre's Cowling the Hex Drinker. You know, might question why not the Hex Drinker first, but Magic Resist early, because think about Crown's second item. It's either going to be Blade the Ruin King or more likely an Infinity Edge. That's a long ramp-up build path compared to, say, 1350, 1450 gold for the Hex Drinker. Magic Resist doing a lot of duty right now for Marin. Just surprising to see him go Spectre's Cowl, especially if he goes for something like a Banshee Veil Rush. You might be a bit questioned about that.
I am curious to see what his second item is here, but to wait a little bit for that. Bang actually just going for Reeves.
Loving the boots too today.
Yeah, he is loving the boots too today. But considering that he's going to be able to trade at a longer range than Corki with the W, it does make a little bit of sense right here. You can see Fury being a little bit concerned about that.
A lot of AD carries pick up Phage for the extra movement speed. Boots 2 are going to provide you with just that much more reliable and selfish flat movement speed with the extra 20, so he will be getting that extra W in than if he built Phage and just isn't feeling threatened of an all-in from the Corki Alistair, so goes for the Zerkagrees for the faster power spike, but it does delay the big power spike of Trinity Force.
Yeah, Fury needs to make this Trinity Force power spike that he's going to get. It does increase his window. Wow, Luna just taking a ton of damage. There's the exhaust onto Fury as he tries to turn it around. Bang a little bit low, so ult in exchange for a summoner.
As a melee champion, it means that Alistair has no lane presence till it's up again. Eve poking around. Skill shots are coming close from both Eve and Crown, but not enough to pick up a kill after the very nice receipt on Faker earlier.
Bengi just waiting there in the river too in case he needs to make himself known, but otherwise relatively passive play, surprisingly so out of Marin, even though he did get the advantage. And he's just going to go all into Faker. Faker's going to Spirit Rush immediately, but he's not going to be able to trade. In fact, he just looks to clean out the minion wave right now, trying to bait him in. Here comes Bengi from the backside. Crown's shield is down. Will he hit? There's the Cocoon, but they are going to back off as the teleport is going to kill Bengi. Eve here wrapping around the back. Nope, Bengi finally goes down after the bell. Wolf is now here. There we go. Knock up Wolf, kick backwards, but Fury is going to kill Bang somehow on the bottom side. Is it going to be a 1-for-1? No, it will not. Double kill for Faker.
Teleport in bot lane.
Wild fight, and here comes Marin very, very slowly looking for Fury. He's got him in the brush. Who can take him down? Wolf now alone in the river. Faker coming in. There's a Monsoon after the ignite from Luna. And here comes Marin. They are going to take down Eve and Flash away from the charm. Well, that was interesting.
It's an insane fight as Luna headbutt pulverizes himself safely into the turret. That was not something you see very often, practicing the headbutt pulverize mechanics. Such a scattered long fight. I think Crown made a mistake. He used his flash in a situation where he didn't need to. Also used his wind wall very early, not expecting the gank. So if he'd been a bit more judicious with his cooldown, might have lived that little bit longer to still be involved in the fight. But easier to say in hindsight, and what was a very even trade between SKT and Samsung.
Well, Faker also baited him into that because Faker just used his Orb of Deception to clear the wave instead of trading, which probably fooled Crown into thinking that Bengi was not coming. And he only turned after Bengi revealed himself in lane. So Bengi goes down, but the double kill onto Ahri is really nice to have right now in terms of evening up with Crown.
The solo kill from Corki onto Cogmore also is an interesting one. We didn't see the actual full engage. You have to expect it was just a big burst trade coming through from the Cogmore, perhaps in melee range, not getting kited out by all the long-range damage that you're seeing on your screen that Bang can, of course, put out. Now has the Trinity Force against just the component parts of a Trinity Force, so immediate power advantage to Fury, and maybe that's relevant with 35 seconds on the next dragon.
Bengi is caught out. There's the last Whisper. Repel. Not going to get him too far, considering there are 4 people. Actually, nice knock up there. Tornado going to get him out. Good Jana play from Wolf. Bang trying to cut out Fury. Faker forces that flash. I don't know if you're getting out. Another charm misses. And Faker going to have to dance around a circle, waiting for the Foxfire. Gets the kill in the end.
Super awkward timing for Luna to have no help, then have to use his ultimate anyway. Crown's trying to answer with pressure onto this tower. Doing a great job of it. Might actually get the objective.
Yeah, 2 towers threatened right now, top and mid. Wolf is here to shield the tower.
So annoying.
Nice little wind wall there. And stops the tornado from going through.
And we saw this build from Kuro, but it's going to be Trinity Force second, going for the 100% grip build with Trinity Force Static Shiv and the Infinity Edge, but he's overstayed, and everyone's here to join him.
And another kill for Faker. Nope, Bengi takes that one after landing the Cocoon, so a very safe dragon will be incoming from SK Telecom. Have all the vision for that, so will they just answer with an attempt on the Tier 1 in top? SK Telecom coming out to a gold lead due to their kills, and in spite of being pretty far behind in farm in the mid lane, Faker with a second item loot Zeko. You really want to go in on this. Marin is going to Mega Gnar people into the wall. There's a stun, and he's going to hop away. Faker coming through the enemy jungle. They will be too afraid to pursue right now. Fury going to get some damage down. There we go. Has to use that Valk to get out. Saves the charm. Knock up combo. Boom. Boulder to the face. And you know what happens when boulders hit manatees.
And Wolf just got too close and died actually for a kill trade. So that was awkward, but at least the skill shots that we questioned from Faker certainly on point in that exchange.
Yeah, it's still been a little bit rusty. When I think about Mickey's Ahri, maybe a little bit more accurate in that department. Still making it work though. It's 3-1 and 3. 6 out of 7 kills Faker's been a part of.
Samsung, where does their game plan go around here? It seems like Eve has been very skirmish happy, basically used the kickoff cooldown to try and force fights, whether it was top lane or mid lane. With mixed success, and the Dragon win condition they opened at 4 minutes actually been turned around on them, as SKT have the advantage in that 19 minutes in.
Well, we think about it too, that sure it was a 4-minute Dragon, but the second one came at 12, so it would be even early for a normal game.
Crazy to think.
For SK Telecom, so they're certainly still within that zone as Crown starts to move forward onto Marin. There we go, there's knock up. Faker on the run in the jungle. Marin gets ignited. Faker gets a kill onto Fury before ticking down to an ignite. Shutdown gold goes to Alistair. Bengi here, trying to turn it around, gets his cocoon blocked by the wind wall. Crown on the run in his own jungle. Oh, he failed the dash on the Krugs, and now, did he just dodge that with Repel? That looked really wacky.
Samsung aren't done. They're looking to keep going. Remember, Crown did, what, 80% of the health bars of 2 people under a turret, but still died, so a bit of worry for SKT as the split push will continue. But man, Bengi's positioning, he's always been in position for a really smart case.
Yeah, Wolf getting low here. Kube is going to hit him. Monsoon used, but Eve is in, and Eve is not going to live. Marin comes in with a home guard teleport. And it was actually Bengi flashing behind Crown right there to pick up that last kill. It looked rather awkward, but that's what ended up happening. So,
I know you're a little bit surprised by the fact that we're at 16 kills at 20 minutes. This has definitely gotten very, very bloodthirsty. Elise comes into the match, and suddenly, with the strongest starting lineups, the game gets just that much more fun.
Yeah, it's been very entertaining to watch this game so far. Mid-turret under threat, but Bioarcane Barrage means there's not really a lot of counterplay for Samsung with just the Corki there to defend.
Crown feels like one of those solo queue Yasuos. It's like, just let me fight you one-on-one, damn it. Why is the jungler always there? Because he just keeps going all in and finding someone to counter-gank him there.
Yeah, gets caught deep in the enemy's side as Bengi goes on yet another warding mission here. Crown drops a ping ward, and hello, Fury. Faker diving underneath that turret. No one here to save you, as Wolf going to block out his exit route, and that means another kill for the Ahri. Bengi chasing Eve around his own jungle. And Equalizer comes in. Not a great one, though. Kube's overheated, but Faker's easily able to kite that out. Still, they force him off the tier 2 turret, and now Bengi at the wrong end of a last breath. Wolf's going to be here to try and save him. Nice tornado. Wolf has just been everywhere this game.
And Nessos, Bang picks up a kill onto the Rumble. Still free auto-attacking. They haven't really been able to keep on top of this Kog'Maw despite the early laning phase going well. Trinity Force still not finished for Crown because he's died so often. Item timing's falling behind. Gold lead amassing for SK Telecom.
Well, we were worried about Marin and his build, looking like he was going tank. But no, Papa Smithy.
He went for that
Hex Trigger into Maw. Now, Maw of Malmortius. So,
hey,
all you Marin fans, don't worry about it. He's still going to build for crazy damage.
And you hold your mouth. That's not necessarily a Maw of Malmortius. Infinity Edge, it could be that. Right. Could be a Black Cleaver. Have faith in Marin, okay?
Nope, I was right. Boom, Maw of Malmortius.
Look, it's still pretty damn manly, so we'll give him that. But, pigeonholing himself as mad.
Uh-oh, Faker's 1v1 pick train has begun.
He still had another Spirit charge.
I guess he thought that, oh, Bengi gets caught again. Bengi just going the exact same place to repel as Wolf here this time. The answer is yes. And there's the Luna Zeko forcing Luna to move through, going to punt Marin out. Marin actually very low. He's not very tanky right now. He will perhaps survive this. Bengi next to a flame-spitting Rumble. Not going to live, but somehow Faker gets a kill onto Luna. Was it a no? Yeah, it was an Ignite that actually killed him in the end.
I think Bengi's unlocked the extra potential of Elise. It turns out that if you're not hitting those cocoons, just show up, get kicked, start a team fight anyway. Has been a strategy for what, the last 10 minutes maybe?
Just repel into them every time.
You know, you just get kicked. You just opt into the last breath and work it out from there. That has been SKT's initiation plan. It's been going swimmingly. This is a silly, silly game.
It is. It's fun to watch, though. the constant dueling and action across the map. It's
Monte Cristo, look what John has.
yes, it's happening. Oh boy.
From the support role, though.
Oh, I wish
Boo.
it's not that great on Ari is the thing.
But it's pretty damn great on Jana because you can shield yourself and the 50% crits, Monte Cristo. Don't worry about the ability. In fact, the ability power gives you more attack damage for bigger crits.
Brilliant.
Wolf's got it. Who needs, and that's the best thing about it, you can build that early amp term. If no one's grouping up, don't need the Medjais, go straight into the Harbinger.
All right, so here's what I want now.
I'm listening.
Wolf needs to build Medjai so that 20% AP does even more work.
Oh, think of the AD crits he would put out though. With 20 stack Medjais. That's the dream. That's triple amp term in your build. That's a bit crazy, but possible. You just want to see a build where it's Sightstone triple amp term and then he works it out later. That'd be fun.
That would be hilarious.
Who needs items? Doesn't need boots. He's Jana.
Now finally, Marin getting some armor here. So getting some much needed survivability against the Yasuo. And we're taking a look at that Zeke's Harbinger
To be
right
fair,
now.
are we sure that he's bound with Cogmore? Because I guess 20% more AP for an Ahri who's bursting everyone wouldn't be too bad either. Looks like it's probably the Cogmore. Yes, we can confirm now. So Cogmore, little cute reindeer. They do have. They are friends, but every 60 seconds you can change targets. So some flexibility there.
I don't know. I suppose he could give 20% AP to Faker.
More bursting. You just revert some of those nerfs with an item. You're just like, have 20% more AP. It'll be just like Season 3.
Those were the good times.
Was it?
Times,
Are you a Season 3 man? That was when I was also casting a lot of Chinese League of Legends with some Wei Zhao, so I was having fun back then too.
Yeah, it was great before all the Korean players left Korea.
Ah, yes. I just feel like sometimes you sit there with, you know, your glass of brandy and think about what could have been in 2015, if not for the Exodus.
It would have been pretty nice.
We talked about your depression earlier. That's one of the topics. A bit of a sore spot with you.
But I'm happy the players are.
If you could have one player back, who would it be? One only. You can't choose which team he's on. I'll decide which team he's on.
Cacao.
Oh, he's on Spanish, sorry. SKT pushing in aggressively. Crown, it's very much a solo kill.
Oh, not going to die to the Ignite.
I just love that Crown's gone full solo queue. It's just like, whatever you guys are doing, I'm split pushing. I have all the gold, all the power, but I'm still going to split push and see what happens.
Well, what else can they do? Team fighting right now is not really an option for Samsung. Marin still on the run. Oh, gonna gnar the Yasuo into a wall.
With Trinity 4 has a lot of blocks. Might see a fight finally. Probably not.
Nope, just Eve dying as he tries to get into the back line, and the rest of SK Telecom run interference. Faker and Bang doing the necessary work to take out the jungler before he can make a big play.
Let's go back to the important topic. Spenu. They drop catch, they get cow.
Oh! Goodbye, Fury. Right over the wall.
Wow.
Kube under threat right now. No Cocoon, and Faker trying to follow up. Just a double kill with the Spirit Rush. Bang just walking through the tower. Yasuo nowhere to be found. Marin back at full HP. He's just going to delay that recall. Sees Crown in a ward. Goodbye, Inhibitor.
I take it back. Faker doesn't need 20% more ability power. He's doing just fine with what he's farmed selfishly.
Yes, he has. They're not actually going to go for a finish right now. Maybe could have with a TP up on Marin, but might have been a bit overly greedy. Marin is going to farm Krugs, I guess.
This is definitely the game for overly greedy Monte Cristo. We've seen multiple Yasuo 1v2s under turrets.
He knows Yasuo isn't there. He could easily just push up the bottom wave. That is a very inefficient use of Marin's time, but whatever.
Oh.
Nice catch. Faker just explodes.
Owned.
Shut down from the combo. Kube in trouble. He's really not tanky enough to deal with Bang, and now Marin going to recall. No need to TP right away.
Yasuo's so strong. They have to be careful because, my goodness, with the Trinity Force, he skirmishes like a beast.
Yeah. And Bang under. Wow, triple kill from Crown. Marin was just sitting in Fountain that entire time waiting to TP. They very well may. Marin is not quite scary enough to deal with this, I think.
Ace is backing.
Oh. Well, there's one kill with the boomerang. Last breath up again. Scoops into the wall. Double kill onto the jungler. There's no more jungler. Fury nearly dies. This game is hilarious.
This game
Good job,
is
Baron.
the best. 1v4 with the assist from the Baron. The gentleman is mad.
He's got the damage with that maw, that's for sure.
Oh, this game. Yasuo skirmishing, though. Amazing.
Really fun to watch. I'm glad we're seeing more Yasuo these days. Let's take a look at how this started. I mean,
This is where you die.
yeah, Faker just doesn't bother to even Spirit Rush out of that. Good combo from Luna. To be fair to Luna, he has had very good engages so far in this series. Kube somehow by himself behind a tower.
I mean, look at that damage. He's doing 350 damage with every auto attack, whether he crits or not with the Trinity Force proc. He looks at Bang, Bang dies.
Yeah, just flashed us right over the wall. Bang didn't expect that. A good ward from Samsung. But that was such a late TP from Marin, though. He, first off, recalled when that fight started.
Calculated. He was right
It was
ready.
just sitting there.
We're fighting on the small screen as well. Already had one death for Alistair. Cube has to die. We're pushing. In fact, we're over 1 kill a minute. This is what we love to see. You mentioned in the intro, the preamble, that there's a lot on the line. You can tell from the fact that we have 32 kills in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Faker's not done.
Oh, gets the flash out of Eve, and he's still gonna go for it. Kick into the
Brown's
last
there.
round. Baker just dies at the re-engage. Fury, Wolf gonna go down too. What a hilarious game.
Wow, I mean, Crown
Banky's
is
underneath the tower.
murdering people.
Crown is doing a lot of damage. And these skirmishes are exactly what they want for this Yasuo. He has no chance of losing these 1v1s. Marin trying to fight this. Hextrigger.
he's still going!
He's still going! The double. Bang the only
Get
one
in
left
there,
alive.
Crown. Yes! He's gonna die. No,
Nope.
he's not.
Dodges out on that Acathian
Brown has
surprise.
Infinity Edge Trinity Force static. So that's 100% crit with the Mertreads. He is literally God. If SKT don't want to 5v5 team fight.
if they just follow him in one by one like that, absolutely he is God.
It's basically Mortal Kombat. Everyone's opting in, putting in an extra quarter, opting into the next challenge, just getting mown down by the champion.
SKT testing their might. It's not working out very well for them. They still have a gold lead. They're going to get their 4th dragon here, more than likely, with the inhibitor still being down. But Baron over to Samsung.
Brown buys a QSS and a BF sword. He has so. I want to see the gold though, because he is literally flush with gold.
Well, Faker's not doing too badly too. Remember, he does have 11 kills himself. He is finally going to be getting his Zhonya's Hourglass. Probably an item he should have gotten earlier in this game.
Wonder what tipped him off that maybe there's some attack damage threats on this Samsung side. Hint, it's not.
Okay, well, here we go. Fight onto this next dragon.
I like how you said, here we go, fight, like it was a fighting game.
It will be round 100 fight. Marin on the flank, getting a. Oh, not going to catch him with it. There we go! A huge, and Faker just dies immediately to Crown.
Get in there, Crown.
Everybody going in.
Bye, Marin.
The Fury actually falls. That's going to be problematic when they want to siege. Bengi, the last man standing, as Crown has so much damage. He is just obliterating the backline. That was a great equalizer, last breath combo.
This game is the best.
Luna's engages have really been on point. Credit to him.
They're going to get minimum inhibitor 20 seconds, actually deceptively early in the game. The death timers aren't quite there. They probably can't finish it, but Last Breath is on such a short cooldown. They have to be worried about another re-engage. This is back up.
Yep. 8 seconds now till RE10 until the Kog'Maw
Trinity Force procs
returns.
from 2 Trinity Forces, very easy. Samsung could really win this game because they have no answer SKT for this free farm split pushing Crown. They decided the game was over 10 minutes ago and Crown said, nope.
I love watching Crown play. He's been a really exciting addition to Samsung. Just such a big champion pool.
This engage into the Last Breath is just
Wow.
poetry in motion. Watch this. Everyone dies.
The
Ari-
rumble, too, right on top of Ari and Kog'Maw.
Ari died during the duration of the Last Breath knockup.
Oh, man. Well, Zhonya's Hourglass nearly done for Faker now. That may help him a little bit. He has to be much more on his toes when it comes to using his Spirit Rush. Is this giving you LPL casting flashbacks, Papa?
Oh, it's so great. in moderation, LPL is a wonderful thing.
This is an LPL game.
Look, if LPL was like a drug, and it is a bit of a drug, it's very addictive, but it would definitely say use in moderation on the packaging.
All right, well, the blue buff is stolen by Eve's Lee Sin.
I mean, literally the only, nobody cares about blue buff on this team.
No. Well, Bengi may get caught out. Nice flash on the hold engage.
Crown was smashing the R button, didn't get the knock up for once though. Such has been Luna's prowess on the headbutt pole. Doesn't have flash up just yet, does Luna. We know what happens if that comes through. We still haven't really seen the Zeke's Harbinger affect one of these fights because Cogmore just does not get any free time to order.
No, not at all.
Wolf has double buffs. Look at this, he's actually got the other buff item that I've forgotten the name of.
Ardent Sensor.
There we go.
Yeah, just going for it. Just going all out.
I mean, this should be Bang putting out more damage than Arrow was capable of in his game, just because there's so much bonus damage. The maths actually says that Ardent Sensor gives more of a benefit more often than the Harbinger. But if you have both, theoretically, you should be a god of damage.
Yes, if you could live.
And Crown isn't letting anyone go.
Yeah, when are the GAs coming through for SKT? Those are kind of necessary at this stage.
I'm so happy that Crown can't hear you because he's not going to build a GA mod. He's got another Vamp Scepter. Probably Blade of the Ruined King for a bit more stickiness. Maybe even the Bloodthirster for never dying.
Or Edge's more upfront burst.
Yep.
Bloodthirster.
He needs more burst.
More burst, definitely necessary.
This game is so silly. SKT could have finished this game 15 minutes ago.
Decided not to.
While we were watching hijinks with Crown split pushing while his team was losing. SKT were merciful, and Yasuo gonna make them pay, it seems like.
Yeah, I do think they could have finished the game right there.
Oh, definitely.
With Baron's TP up.
Without a shadow of a doubt. But isn't this much more fun?
All right, SK Telecom, they now have to look for a pick. They want to just burst somebody down with Ari and the Cogmoth. But Bengi, they know he's there. Uh-oh, here we go. Oh, they get Eve. Very high burst damage. Crown now on the run. Can they take him out? Does have that win roll? Nope, just going to QSS.
Gets the speed boost from that as well. They're going to keep chasing him. Cuvée dies in the side lane. SKT, they add a lot of time, but this might be the game.
Yeah, I think they're done with Samsung shenanigans right now.
Now Luna's still alive with
They don't
Flash.
have a minion wave, actually, so they can't finish the game. Crown here with his Elixir of Wrath, burning red.
How many could they take in a 3v5? Could they take a 3v4? They might be able to. They lost one threat.
Well, they lost the Rumble, though. That's actually one of the bigger parts of their backline damage combo.
Because someone dies instantly, and then the Dream. I mean, with the Elixir of Wrath especially, we're talking about so much effective lifesteal, 10% plus, of course, 10% on all physical damage abilities like his Q.
He has 384 AD right now.
He's so buffed up right now. Brolaf has no idea.
None. Okay, Marin sent back to answer the split push. They just go for an inhibitor. Looks like they want to play it out a bit more cleanly at this stage.
Really? This is the time to play it cleanly?
I guess.
When there's 45 kills at 37 minutes?
I guess you just want your inhib back up for the next Dragon and the next Baron.
This is when you have an epic kegger and then you're like, maybe I should clean up with your single napkin and like one damp sponge. There's a lot to clean up, Montecristo.
Very few tools to do it with, you are correct. Well, Thornmail done for Marin now. That is at least something to work with to help this Gnar survive. And Bang also gets the QSS. I'm not really sure what he's going to QSS.
That's the questioning. There's no exhaust and ignite, perhaps. You can't QSS the knockup from the last breath.
Yeah, what is he going to QSS?
Going to QSS some magic damage or a slow.
Yeah, no exhaust.
He's waiting for the blade to be completed 6th item so he can QSS the movement speed.
I really question that item. I think GA is a million times better here.
Don't know what to tell you. Something he's decided to make. Wow, Marin is a pick machine, but they have to be so careful. Luna has that flash up pole. Samsung have to fight this at some point.
Wind wall already down. And there we go. Marin gets into the mix. The Crown just going to QSS the stun. He gets it. Bang gonna flash the equalizer right there. Double kill for Faker as he comes in around the flank. 3 members already done. from Samsung, and this looks like the win for SKT as Faker and Bang head into the mid lane right now. They have minions there. They're just delaying Crown, the rest of the team. He's trying to go crazy.
He can definitely go crazy, Monte Cristo.
Actually forces them out in a 3v2, but that's going to be the end of the game all the same.
Where's the
They bought
chivalry?
the time.
Where's the chivalry, Monte Cristo?
SK Telecom wins in the end, a 49 kill game in 39 minutes.
Oh, it's the best. It's that time of year, Monte Cristo. Some of the games, the fun quotient just seems to overcome the quality decision-making quotient. Doa at home, very sad he didn't get to call that one, but what a game to watch.
Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I loved watching Crown's Yasuo, and the equalizer combos was quite fun, but definitely very silly.
Interesting to see SKT maybe tease us with something they'll see in the future, which is the double pick combination combos of the likes